Fuck Kickstarter.
I like it. That was awesome.
You like? Yeah, you pick up what I'm laying down for you.
I'm definitely picking it up, and that was
It's
very energetic. It was very to the point, precise. I dug it. I dug it. I dug it a lot. Absolutely,
right, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you,
welcome
everybody that was with us. Hold on. For the live stream
okay.
on Saturday. Why are you stepping on my tail? Why are you stepping
on mine? This is my time. That's why you're on the second. That's why you're on the left side of the screen.
That's only because I'm lazy. I don't want to do shit. Gentlemen's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement.
Just saying. All right.
But you could.
Yes. Thank you. I was actually going to say that too. But thank you to everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
Yo, are we best friends or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody that tuned in on Saturday. That was a blast, man. We streamed for 4 hours, which is only the second time we've done that. I think the relaunch of the show was a 4-hour stream. It actually might have been a 4.5-hour stream. But yeah, we had a lot of people watching us consistently throughout the entire night. A lot of awesome suggestions. The chat was great. Big thanks to John Malin for coming on and pretty much
John.
And hosting the show for us, so allowed us to actually kind of draw and stuff. So that was great. What's going on, Nefarious? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm rambling here. I should bring up a lot of the chat. You guys
Hey, Nefarious, how you doing?
Yeah, Leandro was here first.
Hey, Leandro.
Right before we were gonna start.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was getting it on. He was there.
Let's get it on.
We got I know this was just told me how to pronounce this, and I completely forgot it.
Peking,
son of Dojo Khan. Yeah, Peking.
And he just told us like 2 minutes ago.
I know he did. That's why I said he did. And
we got the memory of an amoeba.
Bigfoot Loch Ness in the house.
Okay.
Inside joke there. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, you're a sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Harrenberg, where'd you go? What's going on, Harrenberg? Paul, what's going on, brother? I've been talking to Paul quite a bit. Cool dude. I enjoy chatting with him.
Nice.
And how's every? Yeah, well, I'm doing good, man. For a Wednesday.
My sciatica is acting up, but do I have a sciatica? What is? I don't even know what that is.
Dude.
The back hurts.
Hiking.
Yeah, piking.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yes,
I needed that.
And we need to find out your feelings about when your parents broke the news that Santa Claus wasn't real. So we'll get into that.
Yeah, how much did that traumatize you as a child?
Yeah.
I just want to know. My parents did me a favor. I never believed in Santa Claus from the beginning. No, don't do that, dude. Don't start that. No. What's up, Corey? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for showing up.
And Corey, when we do the auction thing, if you definitely want to pop on or whatever, we'd love to have you for that.
Yeah, because we're going to attempt to do an auction show.
Yeah.
On the Odd Stuff show.
Auction and stuff.
Auction and stuff.
Auction and stuff. I
just Sean's got all the taglines, man. He knows how to do it. Yeah. Wednesday night. I really let us know if you guys are enjoying these Wednesday shows, because these are kind of newer for us to try to get these on a regular basis as opposed to the Friday night show. He's backstage getting fucked up right now.
Yeah.
So that's what last time I saw him, he was in a room by himself. It was a lot of booze. So we'll see if he's ready to go here in a second. But anyway, yeah, if you guys like the Wednesday shows, let us know. We're going to try to do more of them because we've been getting a lot of people requesting to come on the show, and we love having people on, and we do what I can. We do what we can.
Oh, you're making this all about you now, right?
Is Freudian slip there.
Right. Slip. Wait, what's that word you use with me? The green monster reveals itself, which I don't know what the fuck means.
It's jealousy.
Appreciate
green
that,
monster. Jealousy. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Yeah.
Like money?
Well, I mean, it can be, but like the green monster is like jealousy. Like the color green is for like being jealous of somebody else, and we could also, stand for money and shit. So,
Huh.
yeah,
Slept
but
through that verse during the Bible.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But let's get rolling here, man. Do some self promotion. So everybody knows I have a book coming out sometime later this year called Reaper Destroyer. That is my character. There's a cover right there to it, colored by Brian Valenza, who is killing it right now with Rob Liefeld and some Top Cow stuff and a bunch of other stuff. And I think he's got another Top Cow book. Something. Oh, fuck. I dropped the ball on that one. But beautifully inked by Jimmy Reyes, and the interior inks are going to be by Joe Weems. It's going to be a really fun book. I can't wait to show it to you guys. Hopefully, I can get the campaign going in July. Maybe a little bit later. It depends on how the pages are turning out. So that's my cheap, shameless plug for myself.
Well, they're turning out awesome from what I've seen. And if anybody wants to see them, just hit me up because I'll fucking share the shit.
Sean's always got my back. I know it. Sean, what do you got?
This is my character Strees from my upcoming book Type 1. It's a throwback to, a love letter to the 80s, 90s comics and cartoons that we grew up with Mesoamerican lore, the relationship of Turner and Hooch between a nephew and an uncle that just so happens to deal with diabetes. So it's me as a superhero, essentially. And that will probably be launching probably towards roughly late summer, maybe fall. I want to have the book done on my part, drawn, written, before I launch the campaign, so coloring can happen during the campaign. And everybody knows I won't fucking give them the shaft like some people, but we won't bring them up. Even
though Sean loves giving people the shaft, from what I heard.
Yeah, everybody done jail time. Don't fucking. You ain't from Jersey unless you did some sort of criminality. So
yeah, that's insightful. Very insightful. Why is it so bright in my studio today? I don't understand it. I think it's because I moved it around, but it's like I feel like the light is just in my face. It doesn't, I need a good lighting, to bring out the attractiveness of myself, Stop clickbait. That's what we are about here, Corey. It's clickbait. We try to get the most eyes on and then give you an inferior product. That's what most clickbaits do. And we're getting right into that aspect of it. So, all right. But yes, we plugged everything. We've been rambling on for a little bit. We got some people in the chat, which is what we're looking for. So let's get this kick started. Welcome everybody to the.
No, let's not give this kick started.
Son of a.
What did I fucking say? What was the first words that came out of my mouth? The show.
I forgot already.
In the words of my Aunt Marguerite, what's the matter with you? You don't speak that English?
I'm sorry. Fuck that up. My bad.
Okay. Breathe.
Taking a deep breath.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
I just did it.
Oh, my bad. And stuff. I'm Sean Ahrendt, and King Kong ain't got shit on me. With me, as always, is my brother and I.
I'm the very attractive, the very distinguished, the very talented, always narcissistic, but never vain, staunch defender of Rob Liefeld and Gina Carano, a lover of all things 90s. Joseph Michael Sonntag, or Joe M. Sonntag if you prefer, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. Welcome to the show. And what a show it is, as always. And if you like this channel, you like this content, and you like looking at our sexy faces, and you want to get in the chat and call us fucking morons and cunts, I enjoy it. Do that. Please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, and share the shit out of this and give it to your kids as a present, because I think it'll benefit them later in life, if I'm not mistaken. So that's all I have to say. Sean, I'm going to you.
Get the clap.
That it is. So Sean, hype man.
We have Brian Menard of Dojo Kun Comics coming up, talking about his upcoming Indiegogo Siamese. So please bring him up.
Hey guys.
Brian, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Was that okay?
Man.
That was right. You said Menard. You said Dojo Kun. You're rocking it.
All right. Cool. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I like the opportunity to be on your show. Been in the chat quite a bit lately. Really digging how chill you guys are. I think the only person more chill than you is Clayton. So
Look, like I said in the live stream, I put Clayton's videos on to fall asleep because he's got that sound of water, like ocean and rain. It's very
you know what?
calming.
He sounds like my therapist.
Yeah.
Mine too. Mine too.
And you know what? I'm going to try to rival that once I get an actual mic in here, and I'll drop my voice a little bit lower, I'll talk a little bit slower, and then we'll really try to get that going.
You gonna change the show to Pillow Talk?
Yeah. I mean, I could do that, man. You should. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've got a great voice. I really do. You just don't hear it all the time because I'm so damn excited and happy to be doing this. So I'm a little bit more energetic most of the times, but I'm only here for Dojo, Nefarious says. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
You sound like all the women I've dated. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be an unfortunate circumstance. I will take that all day long. Actually, that makes me feel good, warm and fuzzy inside, a little bit happy in the pants as well. I'm not going to lie. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, you want to bring up the sign up page, Joe?
Yeah.
Or Brian, actually, because you can do that.
Well, actually, yeah, I was just going to say what's kind of nice about having Brian on is he's going to do a lot of the work for me. So he's got there, but some of our guests don't have it. So I'm always rambling on and pulling up sites and stuff. But I'm going to have a fairly easy night tonight because I'm going to sit back and let Brian direct the show. So.
All right. So let's.
Absolutely, Paul. Me too.
So tell me, can you see the sign up page now, guys?
Not yet. Did you share it with me? Did you hit screen share?
Oh, you know what? There's one more thing I got to do. My bad.
It's all good. I'm here for you. What's up,
right
Jasper?
here.
Hey, Jasper. What's up, brother?
There we go.
Now we should be working.
There it is. Let me make this large. Boom.
Okay, so yes, we are in the pre-launch sign-up phase for Siamese. These are the 4 covers of the original miniseries. Siamese is a trade paperback, though, collecting these 4 issues. And if you sign up early, you get a postcard print when we go to fulfill. But to tell you a little bit about Siamese, I'm going to go ahead and hit the trailer. You guys ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here's the trailer. Uh-oh. There we go.
There we go.
From Dojo-kun Comics comes Siamese, the story of 2 Chinese-American college graduates whose deviation gene make them extraordinary enough to become superheroines. This trade paperback combines the 4-issue Siamese miniseries previously published by Dojo-kun Comics. As our ladies discover their newfound power, we'll be introduced to other Dojo-kun Comics characters such as the Countryman, Breathtaker, Brickhouse, the Scarlet Archer, and Psionica. Dojo-kun Comics has released over a dozen comics so far. You can pledge with confidence knowing that obligations will be fulfilled. Superheroes are coming back. Don't miss out on Siamese.
Fucking
That was
awesome.
fun, man. I agree.
Right.
Very cool characters indeed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's important to note there. I stayed there all the way to the end because it's on Indiegogo when I launch, and it will only be on Indiegogo. All right, so fuck
Well, that's
Kickstarter.
weird.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I know.
I got shit.
Yep, and we'll get
Whoops.
into that a little bit later for sure. 'Cause
Okay.
I hear some. It's going to be a juicy topic tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
But
it will.
before we do though, let's learn a little bit more about your book and your characters for people that don't know exactly what it's about. The books that have been out.
Okay, yeah. Let me jump over then to my website so you can all see what's going on there. So it's going to sound like a little bit of braggadocio, guys, but the reason I mentioned that I've published comics before is I want people to know that they can back with confidence. I'm going to jump down here to the titles that Dojo Kun has already published. So this is without crowdfunding. This Siamese trade paperback is the first Indiegogo campaign I have launched. And I'm somewhat new to CG. I sort of joined. I know you don't have a membership card, but I kind of joined in October. If there was a membership card, though, I'd get one. So here's the 4 issues of Siamese. And you may have noticed in the trailer that there was sort of like 2 different art styles. The style you see here on the left, these 2 issues, that was by Mike Salter. Now, I found Mike in a nursing magazine. So I was sitting in a hospital waiting room, just thumbing through whatever was sitting on the table, and there was a nursing program in there, and the ad for the program was done in like a comic book style. So I'm like, wow, this guy's not bad. So I contacted the ad agency, and they got me in touch with the artist. I said, hey, would you ever consider doing a comic book? He's like, yeah, you know what, I would. He's actually a fine art portrait painter.
Oh,
That's
really?
what he does for a living. So yeah, this is quite a departure from his regular job. Unfortunately, though, after issues 1 and 2, he had some commissions come in for portraits, which make him a lot more money than I was paying him. So we parted on good terms. But then I hired Zilson Costa, and Zilson, there he is right there. But Zilson's art is like this. This is Zilson's art on another project he's working with me on. But as you can see, he's phenomenal. And on top of being a great artist, he is spot on when he's looking at my scripts. Like he sends me the page, and like I'm trying to find something that needs to change because I'm an editor at heart, and I'm looking, I'm like, damn, if he didn't hit everything dead on, I got nothing to change. So it's a great rapport with Zilson. So he's on the book for issues number 3 and 4. So all 4 of those issues will be in this trade paperback, all of the covers, all of the back covers. In addition to that, I'm going to include some behind-the-scenes concept art, a fan art gallery, another gallery of some of the people who produced the book. And of course, as most campaigns have, there will be some swag. And here's a little bit of a preview. I got some Chibi stickers by Alex Thomas. This is a canvas print.
Oh,
this guy who did this, he's an animator in New Zealand, and he works for a company that would basically be New Zealand's version of Amazon, and that company is called Mighty Ape. But he's the co-creator of Siamese. He did the concept art of the characters right from the very beginning. I sort of had the idea of what the characters would be like, but man, did he nail it. So there'll be a keychain, there'll be a wall poster, a challenge coin, lots of swag coming with that when it launches, and even more than what you're seeing here.
Nice.
If we can go back down to the books I've already published. Like I said, the reason I mentioned that I've published all of these is so that, the fans and potential fans can realize that if you want to back this, you can back with confidence, that I've been publishing comics for about 6 years now. I worked for 2 other small press companies before launching my own, and I can show you real quick the work I did for them. That's right here. So I wrote Shadow Faction. The concept was given to me, but I wrote all of the issues of the Commander you see here. Mm-hmm. And then the rest here that you see, I was either the publisher or the coordinator or I guess producer of these other ones here.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been around a while, new to CG, like I said. Oh, here's some more of my characters. This is Breathtaker, if anybody's wondering.
Perfect name.
This is
Perfect name.
Deanna Hammer of the Angels. And the reason I mention her next is this. Siamese is a 4-issue miniseries that introduces a lot of those characters that Red Gaze mentioned in my trailer, like Psionica, this gal here, Breathtaker, Brickhouse, The Countryman. After those 4 issues, Deanna Hammer of the Angels will be the follow-up miniseries. And Deanna number 1 is almost done. It's there's like 4 pages left to complete. So that will come out hopefully later this year. Once Deanna's miniseries is done, like I said, 4 issues, there will be more characters introduced there, and then it'll roll right into this, which will be my ongoing team book called Trident's New Alliance.
Nice.
Now, if you pay close attention, you'll see that there's 11 of them. 8 of them are chicks. So TNA, Trident's New Alliance, TNA.
Ah!
That
Just saying.
I like it. It's very,
Uh,
very cryptic.
So these other books I have, Toro Tales. The Toro is the stone lantern that you see in my logo, my company logo. That's Japanese stone lantern. This is an anthology book. So this right here, there's 5 stories in that one. Toro Tales number 2 is actually going to have 8 stories and will be over 100 pages. That's also in production. I'd say that's about a third of the way done. So that one's a ways off yet. Night Miss and the Scarlet Archer harkens back to the days where Iron Man and Submariner used to share a book, or you'd see, Hulk and Doctor Strange. This is 2 separate stories in this one title.
Okay, I got you.
Alliances is my version, if you will, of like a Marvel 2-in-1 or a Brave and the Bold. So there'll be one character, Breathtaker, who will appear in each issue of Alliances, and then she'll have like a rotating guest star, like Batman, Superman, The Thing, and Spider-Man did back in the day. So in this first issue, it's Sovereign. The Dojo-kun Annual Compendium is my version, if you will, of a encyclopedia of the characters. So it's a lot like Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe. There's over 100 characters in there that I've been creating over time. So, a full body picture of them with all their stats, their first appearance, their origin, and their power set.
That's really cool.
Loved Ones is over 100 pages. It's a black and white horror thriller sort of adventure, and it stars the children of the classic movie Monsters. So Son of Frankenstein, there's a young witch, a vampire boy, and a wolf boy, and they go on an adventure together here in the book called The Loved Ones. So the concept came to me from David Whalen. I'm not the only writer of these, by the way. So David's the concept creator here. I wrote this one, but he has his own book, his own company. Correct Handed Productions. So we each released a version of this story.
Okay.
Mad King is a 3-issue miniseries. 2 of them are published. David Whalen, the guy over here, did the cover of number 1, but all of the interiors and the cover of number 2 are paintings. So even though it's set up in panels just like a comic book, every single panel in these 2 and the third one when it comes out is a painting by Annette Bell.
Oh, nice.
So,
wow,
I mean, that's kind of different.
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
And then lastly, just to mention the one that's out is I Am Become Death. It's like a space opera.
I love that.
Pardon?
That title's awesome.
Oh, yes, thank you.
That's an awesome title.
There's a huge twist at the end of this one. I don't want to give it away. It's a pretty short comic, though. I'll be honest. Full transparency. It's only 12 pages, the story, and then there's a gallery of pinups of Breathtaker at the back of this one. So but the story is definitely
good.
I saw the prose version of this story. It's by Nicholas Prontka, and I reached out and said, "Dude, can we make this a comic book?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm on board with that." So. That's what I Am Become Death is.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sean asked before we went on the air if I plan to release all of these here as crowdfund campaigns. And I think the answer to that is no, I'm not. I'm doing Siamese as a trade paperback because I'd really like to introduce the CG community and other indie collectors to my superhero universe, because I've been advised lately that superheroes are kind of lacking in CG. There's a few that are in the works right now. I know Joe Fulton's coming up with his own universe, and I'm anxious to see that. And there's a few others, but this is a perfect opportunity, I think, for me to jump on board and help fill that void. So the Siamese trade paperback, with these 4 issues, I think is a great place to start looking at Dojo-kun comics. You'll then be able to come back here and select, one or all of these. They're print to order. But then from this point forward, I'll be doing Indiegogo campaigns, for example, for Deanna.
Okay.
Okay.
Corey had asked if would you be doing a campaign with all of the old Dojo-Con comics together? Like, I don't know if it's a new campaign with all the characters together, if that's what he's asking, or if he's talking about like a bundle, like you were just saying.
Oh, wow. That's not a bad idea, Corey. That's awesome. Maybe a top tier on one of my campaigns could be like, hey, back this tier and you get a copy of all of these.
Oh, yeah.
And Nefarious said the Siamese is going to feature other heroes too, right? Will you continue their solo series?
It depends on the popularity. Like I said, Breathtaker here, who is introduced first in Siamese #2, she will be the host of this one, Alliances, so she'll be in that one. I wouldn't call it a solo because obviously she's going to have a guest each time, but this is sort of her book. And then 2, in the Toro Tales, there are solo stories of Lone Shark, Bot 42. These 2 gals are mutants, and this is the Sparrow. But the reason I mention that is, they've each got solo stories in Toro Tales. And if people seem to like them and would like to see solo books, 22-page floppies or more, I've definitely got stories to tell. I have this planned out several years in advance. So this ongoing series here, this team book, I've got about 7 issues already written. So the 4 issues of Deanna are written and underway. I've got 7 issues of Trident's New Alliance. And I do have some solo stories ready for a lot of these characters down here too.
Nice.
So I'm in this for the long haul. I'm hoping that it's popular. And I was even doing this before crowdfunding, like I said. So I was just enjoying this. This was my hobby. It was an expensive hobby, doing it out of my own pocket, but it's something I love. Hopefully my passion is, evident when I'm talking about these things. I got so many stories I can't type fast enough sometimes.
Right.
That's the beauty about doing the independent books. I mean, if, like you said, sometimes it is an expensive hobby, that's for sure. I know that all too well, but at least you're getting your passion out. You're getting your passion out. You're writing the characters that you love, creating the universe that you love. And just judging by everything that you've shown us, I mean, you've got like a ton more than what I thought we were going to be talking about when we first were talking. So that's really impressive that you've got all of this.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. And, I hope that people want to get on board with Siamese. And, go to the sign up page and let me know your email address. I'll give you updates. And, once it releases, you'll get a chance to look at the tier. Oh, yeah. That's what I want to talk about. We've got Corey in the chat. Clayton Barton drew the cover of one of my variant covers. Corey colored it. And that's going to be an exclusive featured tier. It's going to be a hardcover variant. And there's only going to be 50 of those available.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, right.
Gotta jump on that.
So rarity, scarcity, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, so if I can go back to sharing, I don't need to do audio this time, but I can show you some of the variant covers I got coming up.
That'd be awesome. Let's do that.
I did this on purpose so that I could show all 5 of them. These are all the variant covers. So this is the Barton Brothers cover right here. Let's pull that up a little bit larger. Whoa, okay. That's a little bit too large.
I can definitely see the style right off the bat.
Those 2 make me sick. They're so talented.
Yeah,
aren't they freaking awesome?
Yeah, they make a great team. They make a great. They produce some awesome art. Yeah,
great gestures, great composition,
talented guys.
Awesome. Yeah.
So this is Aries Hernandez's cover. Aries is a Disney animator. He worked on Tarzan, he worked on The Lion King, and he worked on Kim Possible for Disney.
Oh, no shit.
Oh,
yeah. So So this is his version of the Siamese cover. I think he did a great job as well.
Yeah.
This here is by Bruno Hatano. Bruno is working on a book of mine that I'm going to call it. It's a gallery. You know what? Let me ask you this, guys. You said you've been around a while. Have you seen the Marvel swimsuit editions?
Have I? Of
Cool.
course. I love sticky pages.
So, yeah. Well, these are even better because these are going to be Sans swimsuits.
Word.
Ah, there you go.
And Bruno
There you
is one
go.
of the artists. That's the reason I bring it up is Bruno, who did this cover here. He's one of the artists working on that book. I'm not sure when that's going to come out. I want to make sure that one's done so that it's not hokey. And that book's going to be called Cobra Lily Bed Chambers. So be watching for that from Dojo Kun Comics too. So this is Bruno's. Let's see what else we've got. Isaiah Xavier Bradley did this one. Let me zoom out here. It's got a different style, but very cool, very dynamic, very like all these shards of concrete here, like they're in motion on this cover. So
it's very cool.
And then lastly, and now this is the guy I told you is the interior artist on issues 3 and 4 of Siamese. This is by Zilson Costa.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
I like
those
that.
Be all
Great.
the variant covers that are available.
You got some sick talent, that's for sure.
Haroldberg said we all have all the Marvel swimsuit issues, including the one with Wolverine and Colossus. That's I collected all of the swimsuit issues that came out in the 90s. Marvel, Image, you remember when Top Cow did the lingerie issues?
Oh, I got that, dude.
Yeah, I got all of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good time. While you're talking, I'm going to punch my email into your sign up page.
Oh, thank you.
So
I can be.
When do you think you're gonna launch the actual campaign for it?
Oh yes, thank you. I planning to launch it live on the Late Night with Comicsgate Michael Bancroft show on April 5th.
Nice.
So
The international member of our boy band.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's a good show to be on.
So Bancroft show was the first one I was introduced to CG by. A while back, I belonged to about 30 different Facebook groups that have to do with indie publishing. And I was putting up a bunch of my characters, just saying, here's Brickhouse, here's Cobblestone, here's Cyanica. And Greg Levitra, who you might be familiar with, reached out to me and said, listen, dude, these are pretty cool characters, but you don't want to keep putting them on Facebook unless they're in comic books, dude. And I'm like, well, they are. So I showed him my my website, and he's like, "Oh, dude, cool. Would you be interested in being a part of Comicsgate?" I'm like, "I don't know. What's that?" So he told me a bit about his opinion about what it is. I looked at Wikipedia. Yeah, don't listen to Wikipedia. They're a little biased against Comicsgate, but I kind of expected that. So, but yeah, you know what? This should be just escapist entertainment. No political agenda. Don't shove a lesson down my throat. Just give me superheroes. Give me westerns. Give me horror comic books. Just entertain me. If I want lessons, I got a mom. I'll call my mom.
Yep.
So, I don't need comic books to teach me shit.
I was just going to say, man, that's pretty much, I think, what most of Comicsgate really is about. It's just like, it's let's have good characters. Let's have fun stories. Let's not have the political jargon and the preaching about whatever. Put back into comic books what's been stolen from us from, all these people that infiltrated the industry and are doing all that bullshit.
Agreed. I was explaining to my son, who's in the chat, Pi King, I was telling him, the thing about Comicsgate is diversity in comics is important. We've got black creators, we've got female creators, we've got gay creators. That's awesome. The same thing about characters. Are some of my characters black? Damn straight they are. But I'm not going to make the book about their blackness.
Right.
They're black characters because I want my characters to be diverse. That's important. But I don't need to teach you a lesson with it. So that's kind of what I was telling my son.
Yep. No, that's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick's in the house.
Hail, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Side note, I know that Sean wanted to tell Rick something.
Oh, Rick, Jerry Resco asked if over the weekend about the if you're interested in that, Rick again, of that Spider-Woman sketch commission that I think you brought up about wanting or interested in. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with him, let me know and we could whatever. I don't know. He just asked.
Sean's the important middleman. Look at his head. His head get bigger. He's like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
I'm the guy.
He adjust his hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this thing is fucking slippery.
But no, yeah, that's exactly why we're such big proponents of indie comics in general, and such big supporters of the Comicsgate community as well. That you can, if you just have a brain in your head, you can take a look at the industry, and you can take a look at entertainment in general, and see where they've been going over the last 5, 6, 7 years. However long you want to trace it back, and just kind of see all the garbage that's there under kind of like a false pretense, and then look at the indies, whether it's Comicsgate, whether it's just people that want to make books for themselves and that they're doing it. Their stories are much more impactful. Their characters are deeper, and they're more fun. They're more fun books to be a part of, and I think that's really what it is. We see political bullshit all the time on the TV, in music and movies. It's like, comic books specifically should be an escape from all that. You can have commentary in stories about stuff, the political, and it works within a story, But when they cross the line like they do, and it's just preach, diversity for the sake of diversity, and like you said, you can have a black character, but now we got to tell you what, tell you all about his blackness, or tell you all about how this character is gay, and like it's just like, you can have gay characters, you can have all these diversity. And they're just part of the story. It's one thing that we had a discussion. Was it Edwin the Ace was on? We were talking about the X-Men, one of the most diverse, comics in history for so long, and nobody had an issue with it. But these people that want to like beat down the industry right now never look back in the past and elevate that book as something that's proud to look at and be like, look at these strong female characters, these black characters, and Latino characters. Like we had so much diversity in those books, and we all accepted it because it was great storytelling, and that's really what it boils down to.
And one thing that chaps my ass, my friend Patricia, she's Latino. She got I don't think she knows about CG. She's or that deep into comics, but she likes comics. She likes doing art, this and that. She got blocked by VDI.
Yeah. How do you pronounce her name?
Whatever. Because because Patricia told her that Latina X or Latin X thing is bullshit. She's like, I'm not that. I'm Latino. So this person blocked her for her opinion, which is a fact. Like I brought that up to some relatives of mine, and they're like, that's fucking stupid. Like, we are not that. The ones that are full blown Mexican, they're like, we're not that. Like get that the fuck out of my face. Tangent over.
Yeah, I agree, Ehrenberg. Yep, and that's again, taking it back. That's what we love about this show, and we love about indie creators in general, because it's fun to talk to people like you and to the guests that come on our show, and we get to hear about their projects. We get to see the passion and hear the passion behind the creators' voices. It's the same thing. Sean and I talk about it all the time. You guys motivate us as well as indie creators and people that are working on our own. Yeah, see, flipping all over your feet, man. That's what I do. But you motivate us, when we get done with these shows, because it fuels the passion that we already have, and it makes us just want to be a part of this scene more and more. And we got to wait a little bit while we're working on our projects, but it's unbelievably
amazing. Like the help that we got,
it's inspiring to me.
It is like just people coming out, like giving us tips, or just the love. Like it's love.
The support, encouragement, and community camaraderie in CG is phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is. That's one of the things I've really been blown away by, like the support just in general that CG is. And CGs are just fans that care about comics. That's really what it boils down to. Good comics, and they support each other. You got some great creators, great talent. great talent in CG, writing, art, all that stuff. Yeah, it's really impressive. And all the noise outside everything, it's just noise, and at some point it's going to break down and people are going to be able to see through the bullshit of that. But, until then, you kind of just got to put up with the Wikipedias and the stereotype shit that's out there on social media. There's nothing you can really do about it right now except prove them wrong.
So if you don't mind, I think I'd like to use what you just said as a segue and go right back to the beginning of the show where Sean said, fuck Kickstarter.
Yeah.
we support one another. And so what I want to talk about now is what Kickstarter did and why I say that. There's a guy in Kazakhstan, Sergey somebody or other, who took Vinny Tartamella's entire Indiegogo campaign, like every picture, everything except he clipped the end of Vinny's video that said only on Indiegogo. He put all of that on Kickstarter as if it was his own. Now, as you know, Kickstarter doesn't collect money until fully funded. So this guy hadn't collected money from anybody yet. But somewhere along the line, somebody said to Vinny, hey, Vinny, I thought you were only doing Indiegogo. I see you're on Kickstarter too. And Vinny's like, what? So they went out and they saw it and they reported it to Kickstarter. Said, hey, this does not belong. This is not my stuff. It is my stuff, but this guy, Sergey, doesn't own it. This is a fraudulent campaign. You guys need to take it down. Well, they never answered Vinny directly, but they did answer a couple of people and said, that doesn't violate our terms of service. We're like, what? How could that not violate your terms of service? And they left it up, and I said, listen, I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not some big tough guy or anything, but I'm advising you that I'm going to formally report this. And they're like, yeah, whatever. So, okay, I got in touch with the Federal Trade Commission. You see, my day job, when I'm not doing comics, I'm an anti-money laundering specialist, an internal auditor, and a fraud examiner. So I said to the Federal Trade Commission, when I see fraud or potential fraud, I'm obliged to report it. I kind of have to.
Right.
So I said to the Federal Trade Commission, in my capacity as a CFE, I'm formally telling you there's a fraud being perpetrated. He hasn't collected the money yet, so it hasn't happened, but Kickstarter is culpable in this potential fraud. It was down in 3 hours.
First of all, I'm surprised that Kazakhstan's a real country. I thought it was just from a movie.
Well, you also didn't know that green is the color of jealousy, so we'll give you a pass.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
I'm just coasting on so whatever.
So yeah, Kazakhstan is one of the former. It's a country that was once part of the Soviet Republic.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah.
Oh, you knew? Okay.
Yeah. Look, I say stupid shit all the time. I don't think.
I should have known. Sorry.
It's all. No, it's all. But that's awesome that you did that, and that's also great to show the support everybody has, like the backs, even though you may not be like tight boys, you still got his back, and also like vice versa, like he'll show him that Vinny that you're good people, and that's cool to me.
I mean, I saw his campaign before I even heard all that was going down. Shadow of the Kraken looks like a fantastic book. I backed it. And then I was on his stream one time and he was going off. Man, was he pissed, but it was all about this. He was, fuck Kickstarter. Absolutely. I felt the same kind of, umbrage that he did. So that's what really got me thinking about it. And I went out and looked and I followed up.
Kudos to you for doing that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And it's good that you had that experience and know-how as well to approach a situation like that.
Yeah, I was, I did it in a professional capacity so that the Federal Trade Commission would listen. If you go in guns blazing, they might just dismiss you as, a pissed comic fan or something like that. But if you bring it to them with the right professional attitude, they'll take it to heart. And, I also advised Vinny to go into the same form that I did and give the Federal Trade Commission the same information. So he said he did as well.
I left this comment from Leandro up because this is perfect sentiment. He said, I'm a proud Puerto Rican and don't understand why the new generation feel the need to create these labels. These self-isolated labels are part of the problem with cancel culture. And what I think is funny about a lot of these people that create these labels, it's almost like they want to put society back into segregation because they are separating us by skin color again.
Yeah.
You know, they do it in a different way now because they want to say that they want to elevate this or that, but you do it in a way that's driving division amongst people, especially the people that perpetrate it on the internet and social media. It's done in a very divisive way, and they try to tell everybody that you're not diverse unless you think this way, unless you treat this way, unless you support blah blah blah. And it's like, man, I look around in my regular life, you know, and granted, I'm sure things are different in some parts of the country, in city areas, you know, there might be a different situation, but I work in an area that's very heavily diverse, or I work and live in an area that's heavily diverse. And what I see every day is all sorts of races and genders and people getting along no matter what. You know, I work in a company that's got a ton of diversity, and I don't see anything but love and holding the door for people and having, you know, chats in the hallway and people I barely know. And that's my world. That's what I see. And so when someone comes in and tries to tell me, like the thing going around right now, there's this thing going that's saying like, try to be less white.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
No promises. No promises.
Yeah, like I you know, like,
Yeah.
like I'm part Puerto Rican. You know, does that count?
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
Where
But,
do
you
I
know, like,
go? Where do I go?
I don't
I'm
even
a
know.
quarter
I don't even know what
Mexican.
that kind of stuff means. But it's just like it's that kind of the vision that they're driving into everything, and they put it into my passion and my love, which is the comic book industry, and it's killed a lot of the passion I have for the big two, and some of my favorite characters growing up that have been just ultimately used as tools in this, you know, proxy war of manipulation, in my opinion. It's just
Right.
it's sad. It pisses me off. It really does. It bothers me quite a bit. And I try not to get too angry about it, but the best thing I can do is create my own stuff and join other
Right.
people that are doing it, you know.
I concur.
All right. I know I missed chat here. I'm gonna try to go back and see what I missed while I was rambling there.
So, Brian, how did you get into the whole comic book scene? Like, what got you inspired to become a geek, to pick up a comic, or
okay.
maybe even some sort of other sci-fi element? Like what got the passion? Why are we here? You know.
Back in the Stone Age, when I was 7 years old, we were headed to Florida, and my mom was afraid to fly, so we would drive there. So we'd stop at 7-Eleven. We were picking up some snacks and drinks and all that, and I was over by the comic rack, and my dad came over and said, "You know what? Go ahead and pick up a few, so you can read in the car." So the first comic, I picked up two of them. I picked up Uncanny X-Men number 126, How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth, and I picked up Amazing Spider-Man number 196, Requiem. And I've been a collector ever since. I have collected, therefore, for 47 years. I, at one point, had more than 60,000 comics.
Holy cow.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I still have a good majority of those locked away. So yeah, I've been collecting for a very, very long time. In 1999, my ex and I had two infants in the home, and it was getting to the point where I couldn't even afford the comic books anymore, so I had to stop collecting. And that was tough, I tell you what, because it was my passion for all those years. In 2014, I started collecting again, but my collection and my collecting habits were pared way, way back. I wasn't collecting every Marvel, every DC, every Image. Instead, I said, I'm going to collect three main characters: She-Hulk, Juggernaut, and Superboy, the Con-El version, the one that was like the clone of Superman.
Yeah.
Tom Grummett was the artist on that series.
That's my guy. I love him.
That
awesome.
series was so good. So those are the three
Shout out to
characters I
Nancy.
collect.
Yeah.
I have nearly every appearance of She-Hulk, whether she's on just the cover, just a billboard in the background as a cameo. Since 1980, when she debuted, she's been in 4,500 plus comics, and I've got almost all of them. The only gap that I have is those 14 years where I wasn't collecting, so I got to go back in and fill that in. Yeah. You know what? That's fun to me. I'm having a good time doing that. And, you know, people tell me, well, why don't you just go online? You can go to Midtown Comics. You can go to Mile High Comics. Yeah, I could, but I have a whole lot more fun finding them in the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about the hunt.
Yeah, right. When I'm on business trips, like when that was still a thing, and I would go on a trip to Florida, I would scope out 3 or 4 local comic book stores on my business trip, and when I was done working, signed out for the night, I would take that rental car and go to the comic stores in the area looking for those She-Hulks. So yeah, I love doing that. The hunt is half the fun, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I love comic book stores. I don't know. There's just something special about them when you walk into them. And I kind of did. Hey Jamie, what's going on? I was
Jamie.
I always find a way to work this into every stream, but I was in a band for a number of years,
Jesus.
and when when we were on tour, me and my guitarist was another big comic book fan, and basically it's just him and me that collected comics or whatnot. And so every once in a while we'd be in New York or something, and we just look up the closest comic book store to where we were at the venue we were playing at, and we'd just go and hang out there for a couple hours until we had to get back and ready for the show. And that was just fun as hell, just going into the various comic book shops, whether they were big and impressive like you might see in New York City with the multiple levels, or just smaller, small town shops. It was just cool to walk in there and see the covers that they got, or the comics that they have up on display, the variant covers, their back issues, because you can always find something good.
Oh,
you can find something really good in a lot of those stores.
Even if you can't find something that's on your list to fill a gap, you'll find something.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, good to see another musician. I've been a singer since I was a 6th grader.
There you go.
I was in a group called Crosscheck.
Oh shit, that's awesome. How long were you guys together?
About 1.5 years. So, not real long.
That's awesome. I was in a band called Mine Enemies Fall, and we were a heavy metal band, and we were together for almost a decade.
Okay.
Doing a lot of independent touring and playing. It's fun stuff, man. I really enjoyed it. But came back to my first love after I got a little bit older and started to have a family and settle down. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go back to drawing in comics, because I tried to get into the industry, my younger days, and I got kind of discouraged because it was the early 2000s, so the scene was it wasn't really great. The conventions were okay, like the industry was not what it was when I was really passionate as a kid in the 90s.
Right.
So that kind of beat me down a little bit, self-esteem wise, I guess. Maybe not self-esteem, but it beat me down, the passion of trying to get into the business, I should say. But now I'm back in indies, that's what it's all about.
That kind of harkens back to what Sean asked just a little while ago. He asked, what then got me into comics? So I mentioned why I got into collecting. So when I got back into collecting, I decided I'd try my hand at writing the comic books, because I'd been collecting them so long. I thought I'd had a pretty good handle on what a good comic book story should be told. So I wrote a script for She-Hulk, my favorite character.
Nice.
And I refined it. I had like 8 different drafts of this issue. And so then I scoured the Marvel comic, their website, looking for the opportunity to submit this to them. That's how confident I was. And it took me a very long time to find the answer to that question. And on the Marvel website, it said, you don't. You go get published and we find you.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, all right then. So I went to a website called ZWOL, ZWOL.org. It's a website that connects writers, artists, flatters, colorists, letterers from all around the world. And that's where I found a lot of my creative staff is on this ZWOL. But when I went there the first time, I was looking for the opportunity to be a writer. And there was actually a small press company in there called Affinity Storm Press that said they were looking for a writer that could help them with their accounting. And I'm like, have we met? So I sent them my resume from my accounting years and my She-Hulk script. And they contacted me and hired me within an hour. So
Nice.
I worked for Affinity Storm Press for a couple years. That's where I wrote Shadow Faction. And then I branched off and worked for Red King Press for a little while before parting ways with that owner and starting my own company.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Probably
so
the best
Dojo.
decision you ever made. You made, right? Like creatively, like you got to
Yeah.
own the keys to your castle and all that.
That's right. And so Dojo Kun, some people are like, what does that even mean? Those are the five rules of the karate dojo. I was a karate student in college, and then years later, I joined a dojo again. So the 5 rules in English are: seek perfection of character, be faithful, respect others, endeavor, and avoid violent behavior. So endeavor is the one that really means a lot, as we're writing our own stuff, being creatives, these indie comics. That's an endeavor. Although endeavor could be anything. It could be a musical endeavor, a relationship. It basically just says, do things, get out there, don't just sit around. So one of the belt tests I took, I learned all of those rules in Japanese far earlier than I'm supposed to have learned it. So that actually pushed me over the top and got me that belt.
Nice.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Sensei was impressed that I learned it ahead of time, and he was sitting right next to a gal, Miho Higashi, who he looked at her like, "So how did he do?" And she was like, "Not bad. I mean, okay." I'm sure I had a Gaijin accent when I said it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, man. One of the that's what I love about having a lot of guests on here over the almost year that we've been doing this is I just love hearing how people got into comics, into wanting to do them, into collecting them. And it's funny because a lot of people our age and maybe a little bit older us all got into comics probably around the same thing with like Uncanny X-Men runs. And it's funny because almost everyone's like, yeah, it's like Uncanny X-Men 120 something, something like this, it really brought it. And it's like, I think that's really cool. And just the story of perseverance. I kind of look at it sometimes because I personally allowed myself to get pushed away kind of in a discouraged mode, and I went in a different direction in my life. And then
you're
just
still creative. You're still an artist.
it was still kind of, it was an art, it was music instead of drawing. But to hear a lot of people that kept on persevering through all of it, and then finally started to achieve stuff, that's very motivating to me to hear that.
I
appreciate that. Yeah, the Claremont Byrne run on Uncanny X-Men was phenomenal, and the Marv Wolfman George Perez run on Teen Titans was just. I think that's really the standard, the gold standard. I don't think there's a better artist than George Perez.
Top 5 for sure, definitely.
Because
then I'm like Gil Kane, or like I just don't.
There's a lot of others that it's tough not to have up there, but I would say Perez and Byrne are my 2 favorites.
That's another thing that's awesome about art, because it's so subjective to what your personal taste is. What pleases you through what you see. So trying to actually, besides Jack Kirby, trying to actually determine the top 5 or so artists, you're going to have so many different variations of that depending on who you talk to, and that's really cool. That's art. I love it. There's so many fantastic artists out there throughout history. It's so hard. It makes it so hard, but that's also what makes it so fun.
And you'll notice that I, although I'm just a writer, I also included Marv Wolfman and Chris Claremont when I started talking about those runs, because in a lot of ways their characterization was of utmost importance as well.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't forced. It was properly done, in my opinion.
I think a lot of it had to do too with the fact that they didn't just have bombastic superheroes with all this action. They talked about family and friendships, and I just reread the page today where Heather McDonald comes in the room and says, "Logan," and Nightcrawler's like, "Is that your name?" Wolverine's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You never told us." He's like, "No, you never asked." But it's the friendship building and all that we had in the comics, which lended a lot of humanity and helped us as readers identify with those characters.
Facts.
Yeah, and the cool thing about just Marvel in general, but specifically the X-Men, I'm going to isolate it to Claremont because when I was growing up, like he was the it writer of the X-Men. And I always loved how he dealt with the characters where you could just have issues of, the characters just hanging out and you saw their home life, or you saw the life in the mansion, or you saw them just interacting with each other where it wasn't all this epic battle, in cosmic circumstances and all that, like they would just, this wasn't Claremont, but this is going ahead a little in time into the 90s. I think it's X-Men. Oh man, I want to say it's 25 when Rogue and Gambit go on a date. And almost the entire book is just them going on a date. But it was one of my favorite comics in the 90s because it was just the interaction, and it was beautifully drawn by Andy Kubert. So I was a huge fan of his art. So that really helped too. But it was just like, it was a simple book. It had virtually no action in it. It was just a date. It was a date book, But
still a good story.
It was cool.
Regardless.
Yeah, it was great.
Or
Really good story. Beautifully
How about the
drawn.
Marvel 2-in-1 issue where the Thing and Sandman meet in a bar and just sit there and shoot the shit for hours, just talking about. Yeah, I remember when I was a dumbass and I went after the Fantastic Four, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good old days of storytelling. They're so much different than they are today. And one thing that really bugs me about today's story, and there's a lot of fans out there, if you want to call them fans, they're like writer snobs, that if a book has to be like breaking the mold, or it's got to be like epic movie proportion writing, and if you just try to do something that's entertaining or a little bit more simple, it gets a stigma of like not being a good story, not being well written, because it doesn't hit some kind of check marks on sophistication or writing style or something.
Writer snob is a good word for it.
Yeah, a bunch of writer snobs. That's what they are. That's what I call them. I see them on social media. And it's like, in my day, they just needed to be entertaining. And that's all I need at 39 years old. That's all I need right now in life is an entertaining book. You don't have to have some kind of grand mystery and give me all the twists and turns. Just give me an entertaining book with some good art, some fun characters, and I'm down. That's comic books to me.
I'll spread that rumor.
Well, guys, we're pushing up on the hour mark. So, Brian, we're going to have to get you back on here when you launch your campaign.
I'd be glad to. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on tonight. And like I said, I like your show. I'd really love to come back.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. So just let us know when you're going to be making the rounds, when you're doing your tour or whatever you want to call it, for when you launch the book, and we'll work you in. We'll try to get a show centered around the launch of your book. I think that'd be fun.
Great, thanks. Yeah, to everybody out there, it'll be early April. I plan.
Okay, cool. Well, be in contact with us, and we'll definitely get you on. I think that would be fun. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, chat, for everybody that's showing up.
Hail the chat.
Hail you guys, man. You're consistently now. You guys have really been supporting the show more and more every episode, and it's truly humbling for Sean and me to look at some of the numbers. And we're a small channel, and we're hoping one day to get bigger and bigger. But we do this just because we love doing it. It's fun to talk comics. It's fun to talk with creators and learn about them and their books. So to have you guys just come out consistently and support us, and we see new names all the time. We just we really appreciate each and every one of you.
It shows.
And with that being said, if there's anybody new in the chat and you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, and share the shit out of this.
Help us. Like button.
Yeah, hit that like button and tell everybody about it, because we appreciate each and every one of you.
Even if you don't like us, share it.
And one thing I love about this show is we rag on each other. We like to talk some shit, and we invite people in the chat to do that as well, because it's fun. And we want to make everybody that comes in the chat a part of the show. So we'll try to put everyone in the comments so we can get up on the screen, so you can be a part of the show.
Because it's your show as well. Like, it's not just ours. Like when we do creator centric, it's their show. We're trying to spotlight them, but the chat's just as important as like me and Joe. Not saying me and Joe are important, because I don't want, but it is humbling. So but you guys normally it'd just be me and Joe talking to a fucking wall. If that was the case, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and like, you know, we got guys in the chat like Rick that has done a really good job of promoting us and helping us get on like with Bancroft, and that was fun, and that helped us out a lot. We got a lot of new subscribers from that channel, and
make friends.
yeah,
You know,
and
I
make
think
a lot of
that's
friends and new connections,
yeah.
and that's all we want to do. So we appreciate each and every one of you. We love you every single day, every single night too. When I'm going to bed, I'm thinking of some of you. Just so you know, I'll put that image in your brain. So before we get out of here, Brian, why don't you go ahead and plug anything you want to plug? I know we've already talked about a bunch of stuff, but let's just go over everything before we get out of here.
All right, just quickly, I'd like to ask everyone to sign up for the pre-launch of Siamese, the trade paperback. It's a great jumping on point to the superhero universe of Dojo-kun comics. And the Indiegogo campaign will release in early April, and hope to see you then.
I like it. That's awesome. Short, sweet, to the point. Great sales technique there. I need to get better at that.
We got to learn something.
Yeah, I know. I'm horrible at promoting. I get up there and I ramble on. I'm like, Sean, where can we find your stuff?
You can find me in the club now. Sean Ahrendt, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Geeks at the Beach. Twitter. The convention.
Twitter.
Twitter.
Look, just because you guys are from Central America, all right? Like, you're East Coast shaming me. But, Geeks at the Beach, which is the convention I throw down here when we get back to normal in Delaware. Tomorrow night I'll be on Primetime Polling with Phil McNulty. We're gonna do a best friend show again, and I'm just I'm gonna fuck with them so bad. I'm gonna make fun of them. I can't wait. And sometime in April, I'm gonna do a new show on my channel that's centered around diabetes and arts with my friend Myra, who's a classically trained ballerina, and just let people know it's not just about like funny memes being a diabetic. But I do like my diabetic memes because they're funny. But I think that's pretty much it. What about you, Joey? If you're nasty,
and I'm gonna play a producer role on his show. So
yeah, I feel so important.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna do less.
Yeah. I'm gonna do even more. You can find me on all the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What else is there? What's that? I'm on Parler, but I hardly ever go on there. I'm on Grindr. Look me up. YouTube under Joe M. Sonntag. I got a series called Appreciating Comic Book Art. I just had a video drop today. Looking over.
You got OnlyFans?
Thank you. I do have some OnlyFans.
We need that. We need an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I enjoy doing a lot of photo shoots. So if anyone wants to see me in a more comfortable situation, please sign up for that. But yeah, I have a series called Appreciating Comic Book Art. I just dropped a video today on Brett Booth's X-Men Legends #1, which was an awesome book. Check that out.
Inked by Del Salcona.
Yeah, Inked by just a fantastic book all around. If you get a chance, subscribe to that. All the links to everybody on the show is down in the description on YouTube. So follow us, give us a like, subscribe to our channels. We really, really appreciate the support as always. And yeah, that's it. I got a book coming out later in the year called Reaper Destroyer. And I really look forward to I really look forward to showing all that is to everybody. Same thing with Type 1. I'm looking forward to that book. I've seen the insides. Sean has showed me the insides, and I've dug it. I've dug it a lot.
Not the first time, man. Won't be the last.
Somebody's gonna quit that,
I'm waiting for us to become memes, but
yeah, I need some memes. I would like to see.
Memes.
Absolutely, I'd like to see it one of these days.
And Friday night we have Shelby Robertson coming on, so we can shoot the shit with our guy because he's awesome.
Yep. So. Yeah, and again, thank you everybody who showed up last Saturday for the Sketch and Stuff show. I think we're going to do that again sometime, maybe in a couple months, because people seem to really enjoy doing that. So,
yeah, first weekend of April, I think we're going to do the auction and stuff, and then maybe towards the end of the month of April, we'll do the Sketch and Stuff part 2 again. And if Corey wants to come on, or if anybody,
it's an open stream. We'll invite certain people on that we know will come on, but it's an open stream just like we did last time. We had John Malin pop on, Shelby Robertson's jumped in, for a little while. So I mean, we weren't even planning on those guys being on the show. So it's
Rob
just
the
fun.
Replicator making fun of us.
Yeah, that was fun. Yep, having them come on. So yeah, everybody. That's one of those open streams. Everybody's welcome to participate if we can fit you in. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's it. I think we wrapped it all up right there in a nice, pretty little bow. So,
Thanks
Brian,
again,
thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate you being here. Chat, we appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, thank you, man. We try to bring on interesting guests. You know, whether they're names people know or names that they don't know, it doesn't matter. We try to bring on people that we think will be entertaining and have products that people will like. So we've been pretty fortunate with the people we've been able to talk to. All of our guests have been awesome. So
it's just pulling the friendship card and owing a lot of people.
Sometimes, yeah.
No, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, we appreciate you. You have a great night, and we will see you all Friday. Until then, think of me naked.
Bye,
And Sean.
bye, bye.
Peace.